If you like this video, why not subscribe? Hey everybody, welcome back to the weekly recap Q&A show. That's the show where I sit in this hot box, namely my car, and talk about questions that people have asked me from last week, bring you updates, and share with you a bounty of links down below that will all fascinate you in the areas of micro-budget filmmaking, I hope. So starting off, remember, if you want to get on this show or have your question read on this show, please send me an email at thefrugalfilmmaker@gmail.com. I'll do my best to answer it on the show and through email. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Possibly your question might also get answered if you answered or ask a question on a YouTube comment, but the email is the best bet. So with that being said, let me just bring you up to date on a few things before we actually get to the questions. The first one is the Collection Day teaser trailer winners, and I'm saying winners because I had probably about, I don't know, I probably only had like 10 or 15 entries, which is fine. But a couple of them tried really hard, I thought, and so I'm going to actually have pick two winners. One of them was from Miika Was Here, YouTube user Miika Was Here, and the other was Fist Full'a Fedi Productions, and I will provide links down below and possibly annotations somewhere on the screen here so you can check out their trailers. They both did a great job and definitely captured the mood of what I was going for. And if you're disappointed that you didn't get a chance, well, first of all, I also want to say thank you for everyone that entered. And I realize, offering my screenplay as a prize probably wasn't that great of an incentive. But I'm grateful for those people that did enter and tried. And hopefully the two that won will enjoy the script so you can get a better idea of what I'm shooting for. However, if you're disappointed that you didn't have time to do a teaser or whatever and would like to do something in the future, just sit tight, stay tuned. There's going to be lots of stuff that I'm going to do for my thesis film Collection Day that I will definitely want to get the YouTube community involved in. So like an actual teaser or an actual trailer, once I get some footage shot or even some teaser footage, I definitely will be making it available to everybody so they can try again with a different trailer with actual footage, which might make it a little easier, a little more interesting. But anyway, I'd like to thank those two winners. Definitely Miika Was Here and Fist Full'a Fedi Productions. Check out their teasers below for Collection Day. Another thing that happened was last Saturday we had auditions, my first auditions for the film, and unfortunately it rained really hard that day, so I know a lot of people didn't show up. We had about 20 people show up, which I was glad they did. We found some really good actors, but not everybody. So my producers are very zealous about auditions, and we have 3 total auditions set up. There's another one this Thursday and another one on Saturday, so hopefully the weather will be better, so we'll get a bigger turnout. But I was grateful for the people that did come, and we found some really good talent, so I'm looking forward to calling them back and putting them with other people and testing their chemistry and moving ahead. All right, with that being said, let's move on to our first question, which is from Sam Dami again. We had a question last week. He says, I've been looking everywhere from Amazon and eBay, but I can't find a good carrying case or any case for my shotgun mic. Any suggestions on how to make one or where to buy one? Well, Sam, my suggestion would be, I mean, if you buy a high-end shotgun mic, or most even cheap ones will have cases, but if you don't have a case for it, my suggestion would be possibly a pistol case. If you look on Amazon, I'll find some links for you and put them below. A gun case essentially for a large pistol should be long enough to house a shotgun mic. I don't know for sure, but the dimensions will always be listed in the description of the item, so that shouldn't be a problem figuring out how big you need to find your case. But those are good. You can get them from $10 to $15, and they have the padding inside, so that should provide you your shotgun mic with the protection you need, I hope. And notice how it's getting foggy in here. All right, John Smith writes in and says, I've heard of people going the DIY route and mounting dolly arm and crane jibs onto speaker stands, which are much cheaper than heavy-duty tripods. There's no YouTube or video or Instructable or whatever just devoted to how to attach jibs to a speaker stand. Do you know of an adapter that would safely attach a crane to a camera stand or speaker stand? I've never done that. I've recommended that. I mean, you can get those speaker stands that hold like 80 pounds on Amazon, eBay for like $25. I think those are a really good alternative to a tripod. They just means you have to lug that extra piece of gear around. But as far as attaching them, I know on the actually both incarnations of my crane, since they are mounted kind of horizontally on the crane, meaning there's just a bolt going through the tripod at a horizontal angle, and the crane can just basically slides onto that. I've always told people through emails, just drill a hole horizontally through the top of the speaker stand and mount it the same exact way that you see in the video. But as far as an adapter goes or something like that, I have no idea. I don't think they make one for that because this is all this DIY stuff. However, I will say that I am in the process of redesigning the jib, making it lighter weight, and it won't be mounted in the same way. So I will have to come up with an adapter for that model that will be able to attach to a tripod or a speaker stand or whatever. Hopefully that'll be going for kind of a universal type thing. So stay tuned. But if you need one right away, I would just say, on the speaker stand, just drill a hole horizontally near the top, or 2 holes, so that a long bolt can go through the top and attach your jib arm there. So thanks for writing in. And finally, we've got this old comment on YouTube, which was from Andrew, YouTube user Andrew Benoit, who says, completely off topic, but I wonder how many sheets of paper you can squeeze between the top of your head and the ceiling of your car. He actually wrote me this December of last year, and it sort of got filed away, but I always thought, that's a great question, sort of something actually humorous and entertaining. But first of all, I have to say that the top of my head to the ceiling of my car, actually, it's deceptive because of the camera angle, because I'm shooting at a slightly lower angle. So it might appear that my head is just like pressing up against the top, and to fit sheets of paper might appear difficult, but it's actually not. And I didn't bring any paper to do this because it would probably take 200 sheets, because there's probably at least an inch of clearance between the top of my head and the roof of my car. So hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, it looks a lot tighter than it is because of the camera angle. Okay, so those are the questions and updates. And the question this week for everybody I was going to ask, based on Sam's question about the shotgun microphone case, I was going to ask, what non-gear storage do you use to store your gear in? So if you have an item that didn't come with a case, what do you use to store it in? For example, I have my Zoom H1 handy recorder, and you might know from a previous video that it didn't have a case, so I used a removable stereo faceplate case, like a car stereo, the removable faceplates, and they usually, well, they don't usually anymore, but they used to have a lot of cases, narrow cases you could put them in. I went to a car stereo store, asked them for a case, they gave me one free, and that's what I store my Zoom H1 in. So if you have something like that, again, what do you store your gear in? Actually, what non-gear storage do you store your gear in? So it's got to be something that you've repurposed somehow, and that's what you store some specific piece of gear. So let me know, comment below. Again, if you want a question right on the show, send it to thefrugalfilmmaker@gmail.com, and remember, you can find the hub of all the Frugal Filmmaker stuff on thefrugalfilmmaker.com. There's also the Facebook group and Twitter, and the links are directly below for those. So thanks for writing in. I'm going to get out of this car because I am now sweating profusely, and I'll see you next week.